And we are live.
Oh my God, we're live.
We're live.
For the first time ever. Well,
You're the first time ever.
My first time ever.
How are you feeling about your first live, Jack?
I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. This is you're like the queen of live streaming and being on the internet, your face all over the internet, and then I'm not used to all this attention. So
well, I usually feel a little bit nervous, but because it's with you, I'm feeling a little bit more relaxed today, and it's only kind of me that it relies on, whereas usually it's kind of
lots of different people, right? So
pressure. But I also feel like we shouldn't have eaten that full bag of Haribo.
Probably shouldn't have eaten that full bag of Haribo. I can see the empty packet over there and it's haunting me.
But we needed a little bit of energy because it is 9 p.m. here and we've had a hard day at work.
Yeah, it's been a long day today.
Yes,
it'll be a long day.
It's been a long day, hasn't it? But
here we are.
Very excited to speak to, sorry, I've got glare on my glasses. Very excited to speak to you guys today. And we're very happy that you're all here. And we just wanted to do a live because we wanted to explain a few things and also get you excited for a few things.
Yeah, I mean, we've been up to a lot. We've been super busy. And there's also a lot of exciting stuff coming soon. But we know we've been a little bit quiet for a while. So we thought we'd take this opportunity to kind of give everyone an update, let you know where we've been at.
Yes, exactly. Because you may have noticed that we missed a week last week and we didn't release a film. And naughty us, right? And we've been releasing a few podcasts recently.
Yep.
And we want to tell you the reason why, because we've been away. But we also just didn't want to keep releasing podcasts. We didn't want to miss another week. So we thought, let's do it live.
Let's do it.
Let's connect. Speak to you guys, which is very, very exciting. So we're very happy that you're here. So first of all, before we get stuck into the deeds, I want to say we hit 28K yesterday.
Yeah, it's a big milestone.
28. This is my 28 plans. Okay, so yeah, we hit 28K. So that's amazing. Do you think we can hit 30 before the end of the year, Jack?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that everyone can kind of pull together, spread the word. Let's try and by the end of this year, let's try and get to 30K.
Come on, guys. If you know anyone, just share us on Facebook or Instagram or wherever. Share us, try and get us more subs. Let's get to 30K because that would be a really great Christmas present, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Bit of a crazy year. So
it's been a crazy year. So
excited for that. So speaking of crazy, let's talk about our trip. Now, first of all, I just want to say, we have been traveling. I'm going to throw it out there, believe it or not. But we've been traveling in China, obviously, because this is where we live. So whilst traveling isn't really available for everyone in the world right now, it's been okay here in China.
Touch wood. I mean, I think there's been a bit of dodgy news today coming out of Qingdao. But fingers crossed they managed to nip that in the bud. But
we haven't been to Qingdao, by the way.
We didn't go to Qingdao, don't worry.
Hopefully we're okay. Yeah, so I just want to touch on that because I don't want people thinking that we're being really reckless or anything. But domestic travel here in China is a thing. China, personally, I think has handled this virus very well. I feel very safe here. And they've done a lot of precautions. And I was a little bit nervous because it's the first time we've traveled since it broke. We went to Shanghai, right? We went to Shanghai.
Yeah, we went to Shanghai in between the two sort of waves.
Yeah, in between the two. But this is like the biggest one. And I was really anxious before this happened. Yeah. I mean, a 3-week trip, we went to 6 or 7 places, which is just quite anxious anyway, not just in China, not just because of the COVID, sorry, but sometimes it can be hard. If you watched our last podcast, it can be hard to travel.
To be frank, I was bricking it.
You're Jack.
What? Oh
my God.
Over my head.
Over your head, Frank. Okay, sorry. Yeah, to be frank, yeah, bricking it. I was bricking it as well. I was, oh my God, to be honest, that the first plane ride, I was really, really nervous. I think that's the most nervous I've ever been for a plane ride, and not because of the virus, just like the anxiousness of the whole trip. So I was hoping that it was going to come together, and it did.
More or less, there was a few mishaps along the way, which we're going to go into. It being us, it didn't all run smoothly. I think before we do, though, let's just say hi to a few people. It's awesome that there's so many people here tonight. If you're here at the moment, drop a comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. At the moment, I'm seeing people coming from Beijing, Anhui, Malaysia. Good evening to the rest of you who didn't say who you're from. Hi, Olivia. Hi, Mitchell. Hey, Samuel. Hey, Justin. Hey, Dan. Hey, Banja. Banja, this is me. I am Jack. Hey, David. Hey, Neil. Hey, Samuel. Thanks for coming and harassing us. You followed the Instagram there. And yeah, everybody, keep letting us know where you're at. Thanks, Banja. Coming at us from Shanghai. Let us know where you're at, what the situation's like you are. And then, yeah. Australia. That's awesome.
That's awesome. So yeah, Justin just said that he's not seeing our screen so clear. I'm sorry, guys. We are obviously in China. Sometimes the internet's not great. We do not have our VPN on right now, so I thought that it would be better. If it gets really, really bad, then we will try something else. But hopefully you just enjoy us anyway. So yeah, exactly. Thanks, Sam. Let's hope that it is steady and we stay in tune. Okay, so yeah, hi everyone. We're really happy that you're here.
So many places, and we went to so many places. Beautiful segue there. So where did we go? Let's go.
Okay, so our first stop.
Yeah.
We flew to Chongqing. So we went to Chongqing just briefly.
Yep.
So we got let's start. At 4 a.m. we got a taxi to the airport. We got a plane to Chongqing. We then got a train to somewhere else. Then we got a taxi to, can you remember? You can't. Xi'anping in Hunan. So we were in Hunan, Xi'anping.
Yeah. That place.
So if any of you watched our last podcast video, actually our last video, I think in general, that's where we went first. Oh my gosh.
It was so stunning. You probably saw from that podcast, if you watched it, it was just obviously a few shots that I quickly put together. But it was absolutely stunning. It was kind of the rural China we've been searching for. And we're actually working on a pretty cool looking film that's looking good at the moment. I'm editing it I'm trying to get, anytime I get, I'm trying to edit that at the moment. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be a really fun film.
Yeah.
But it won't be ready till next week.
So we thought we were trying to get it ready for this week, but we only had one day off this week because
damn makeup day
because it was a China holiday. So we only had one weekend day. So it just isn't possible. So we thought this would be better. But yes, that background, oh my gosh, was amazing because it felt like a fairy tale.
It really was. Like the whole place was a complete fairy tale. It was stunning. And we're actually going to, in the video as well, I think we'll probably, we're going to leave some more kind of links and stuff like that. So if you want to go check it out for yourself, but we'll kind of be talking about that more after we drop the next video, which will show you a bit more about the place, because I think that anyone who's got an interest in China wants to see a bit of the authentic, real, rural China, and that's the place to go.
Yeah, it was really, really beautiful. And we actually went with a company.
Yep.
We went with a company called Laojia, and we mentioned this in the film. And basically, they have 4 different houses in different parts of rural China. So they've got 1 in Hunan, 2 in Guangxi, and 1 in Fujian. And they help you to get to these rural guest houses, and you all stay with local people, and they show you around, and it's really, really, really great. So Laojia is also going to give a discount to my subscribers. So we will put a code in our video, and if you're wanting to stay with them, you'll get a discount, which is amazing. So thanks for that, Laojia. And also hopefully you guys will enjoy that discount as well.
Yeah.
So we have 2 films coming out from there. So we've got a film about the place, and we've also got a film about our guest.
Our host. Yeah. Our host.
Yes. Our host. Yeah. Which.
Did we talk about him in the podcast? I'm not sure if we did or not, but maybe briefly. But yeah, he was an 80-year-old guy.
Grandpa.
He had a beautiful farmhouse there. built in the traditional style. All the houses have to be built in wood in that area because it's protected. It's like a heritage site.
Yeah.
And he's a really cool guy. We basically followed him around for a whole day. One of the days we were there, just shooting a specific film showing what his life is like.
Yeah.
I've also been kind of cutting up a few clips for that and starting to pull that together. But that's going to probably be that's going to be a little bit further down the line because unfortunately he speaks with a very thick Hunanese dialect. And so we're having a
translated.
Yeah, we're just trying to find some people to kind of help us with the translation because it's very this dialect is not quite so widely spoken. I was told yesterday that there's many different dialects in Hunan. So yeah, that'll be a little while. But anyway, this other one that's coming out is going to be pretty awesome. You'll see plenty of him in there as well.
Yeah, and I also did a lot of behind the scenes content as well. So I made 4 vlogs from there, and there's also going to be one, and they're all going on Patreon, my Patreon channel. So if any of you want to see those vlogs and some behind the scenes content, then consider supporting us on Patreon. I've been editing some stuff myself. I'm not going to lie. It's not as good as Jack's, obviously.
I think they're really good fun, though. Like, they're really different because they're a bit more vloggy. They show a lot of our personality. If you enjoy this kind of video, you'll definitely enjoy the content on Patreon.
Yeah.
And already, just in the time you've been doing it, I've seen your edits improve so much. Like, she's getting really good.
Thanks.
Maybe she'll let me go at some point, you know?
I don't think so. But one of my vlogs, which is about something that was one of the funny things that happened to us there. So what happened to us when we were staying at Laoja, Jack? What did we get roped into?
What did we get? Oh, we got roped into quite a few things, but principal thing that we got roped into was we actually ended up on some sort of Chinese soap opera. So as in a TV show. We got on a Chinese TV show, which they were filming in the village actually, because it's so beautiful. So I don't know if anyone knows what the TV show is. It was like, my guess is it was about basically this one guy who seemed to be like maybe some sort of party official in this small town, like works in local government, but he works in like a really rural town, and it's set in this village, or at least they film it in this village. No idea anything more about the TV show than that.
Well, apart from the fact that it was about chilies, because when we first got there was bare chilies. There was so many chilies. I thought that it was going to be a chili eating contest,
like as in a chili pepper, you know.
Oh my god, I've never seen so many chilies in my entire life. And then everyone was just going wild for it. Like, it was about live streaming. Everyone's running around like fake laughing and eating chilies. And
so we thought it was an actual chili eating competition. Like, we thought there was really going to be a competition. And so they were just filming the competition. But then we realized that all the competitors were actually actors. And then this guy came out, and then
we had to wave at him and stuff. So
it was very bizarre. It was very bizarre.
So I've made a vlog about that. So if you want to see that, then consider supporting us on Patreon. So obviously loads of really good things happened to us at Laoja because it was amazing.
Yep.
We're not going to go into too much detail. But what else happened when we were there, Jack? What happened to you?
I don't remember. I think everything went pretty smoothly from what I remember.
Oh, aside from the fact that you lost your passport on Thursday.
Oh, yes, I lost my passport. So basically, the day that we awoke and we registered, we got up on our first day in the village, and our host said, okay, we've got to basically just go to like the local, there's literally one shop in the village, which is like the shop, the restaurant, it's everything for the village, right? And they were like, oh, you just got to go register your details at the village, whatever. We were like, fine, yeah, cool, we'll go do that. I was like, I can't find my passport. That was also the day when this soap opera was happening, this TV show. So basically, I hurriedly was looking around for 30 minutes, and then our host was like, oh, don't worry, you don't need your passport, you just go write your name or whatever.
But we do need the passport.
Yeah, we do need, it's kind of important. He's like, nah, you don't need a passport. We're like, yeah, we kind of do. So anyway, we went there. Then that was when the TV show happened. All I wanted to do was go home and look for the passport, but we got roped into that for several hours. So
yes, so it was quite lucky in the end. So we realized that there was only 2 places it could be, and I looked around the room a bit, and I knew it wasn't anywhere that I'd put it, otherwise it would have been with my passport. So what we did was we actually messaged the taxi driver whilst we were away, and turns out it was in his car, thankfully. Woohoo! So we got
Thank
that
God for that.
Oh God, thank God.
Yeah.
God for that. If only that was the only thing that happened to us on this trip.
What else?
Well,
no.
we'll get into that in a second. Well, that leads us on to our next place. So from there, we went to Zhangjiajie. Zhangjiajie. Right. The beautiful Avatar Mountains. So you've probably seen these. They are, well, they look, they're supposedly what Avatar, the film, is based on. And wow, I mean, they were stunning. Well, the second day.
Well, the pictures I saw of them on Google was stunning.
So the first day we got there, we were going to go up Tiananmen, but we decided just to chill instead. So we didn't, and we decided to wait, and it was a nice day.
Yep.
And we got up really early the next morning, and it was pissing
raining
down.
so bloody hard, wasn't it?
It was raining so hard, and we the guest house said it opened at 8, so we went before 8. Turns out it doesn't open at 8, opens at 7.
Oh dear.
Oh, it was really busy.
So busy, because obviously it was just a week or two before the October holiday. It's meant to be the best time for weather, like the best weather window for seeing it is meant to be in October. So I think us and half of China seem to be there.
Well, us and half of the over 60 population, because it was full of pensioners. Yeah.
So when we were walking up to the park gates, one of our first sights that we saw, when we were just like walking through basically like a car parky sort of bit, was some pensioners having a fight with each other. So there was like a big tour group, and they were kind of like hitting. Yeah, this one guy was trying to hit the other one. Like they were trying to hit each other with their walking sticks, like their wooden walking sticks. They were trying to hit each other. It was
crazy.
It was something I've never seen before. Not something I've seen in a national park in anywhere else.
No.
But, hey, good for them. Good for the pensioners getting out and fighting, keeping fit.
Out and fighting. Well, that's not the only pensioner fight we had, though, was it?
No. So so kind of actually, whilst we're in the park, you basically get like buses between some of kind of the major parts of the park. And we were kind of trying to get on one of these buses, and we were just kind of getting on. Nicola got on before me.
Barely.
Obviously, they only let a certain amount of people through the gate to get onto the bus. So just the amount. So there's seats for everyone. You know, you're getting a seat. Anyway, as I try and follow her onto this bus, this guy just grabs me. Like, this old guy pulls me back off the bus, and so I just kind of was like, no, and just kept going. And then he tried to fight with me as well, which is quite funny. He must have been 60s or 70s at least.
Yeah,
it's probably a good 40 years older than me at least. And he was then held back by a bunch of other elderly people were like holding him back, and then he got on the bus and he was so like angry. He was like and we just sat at the back of the bus, just like sat there thinking, what the fuck just happened, basically. And it was so surreal. And then his friends started to apologize to us, didn't they?
So
they were like, sorry about him.
He was part of a tour group, so there was a tour group, and not all of them could fit on the bus. And there was only like a few people in front of us when we were in the queue, and then the bus moved, and then everyone just ran. And these guys. So I'm thinking, well, no, hang on, I'm gonna get on that, and then started on Jack. It was just crazy, and I was thinking, please don't get like pushing over a pensioner. Like, this is not what we need. We're like the only foreigners in Zhangjiajie.
I was very restrained. I mean, I had my camera. I was just holding onto my camera, like, no, don't break my camera. Don't break my camera. Don't break my camera. I need my camera. And then,
the camera broke.
The camera broke. It wasn't the pensioner who broke the camera, though.
No. What was it? It was the rain.
Yeah, so
because it rained so much.
It rained so much. We couldn't see any of the beautiful mountains. We were just up the top of a mountain in fog. It was pretty miserable. We were actually going to stay in the park.
We were going to make a really cool film, stay with this guy, and
we found like a local guy who lived inside the park. We're gonna stay at like his little rustic guest house. In the end, we went back to our hotel on the edge of the park. Thought we'll regroup, go back tomorrow. The second day, we woke up and the weather was much nicer. So we got up, we went up the mountain. We were like, a got
We
my
can
camera
see
out.
something.
Got my camera out. The screen started flickering. I was like, this doesn't seem too great. Oh well, I'm sure hopefully it'll get us through the day.
Yeah.
We probably got like 3 or 4 shots, and then the camera died, and the screen was just like white. And so we were just like, oh no, because we had been filming a film, and
Yeah,
I
we
think
were in the middle of the film, and it was going to be pretty good. Well, it wasn't going to be that good because I couldn't see anything.
yeah,
but it would have been good on the second
yeah.
day.
I mean, luckily we still had the drone though, so we managed to get some cool drone shots.
Oh my god, yeah, we got some sick drone shots, and we had my camera, so we had to finish the film on my camera. So we got the top, and we went to the restaurant. We thought bag of rice.
Yeah, so I went up to there was
Rice.
kind of just a restaurant or some like kind of like food stalls there. I went and asked one of the ladies who was working there, could I get some rice? She was cooking fried rice, so I thought, okay, well, she must have rice. She got fried rice, and I was like, okay, I don't want any sauce, I don't want anything. I just want the plain rice to put my camera in to try and dry it out, to absorb all the water. Anyway, she was like, okay, I know what you mean. She went away. 10 minutes later, she came back with a massive bowl of cooked rice. I was like, what am I going to do with this?
I'm like, put the camera in the sticky rice.
Yeah, in the wet rice. I was like, that's not going to help. So eventually she managed to get it.
She understood. Yeah,
She's like,
turns out your Chinese obviously isn't as good as you thought.
No, clearly not.
Little miscommunication.
Yeah,
But
anyway, she came back with some dried rice.
saved
And it
our
was,
day.
yeah,
Saved our life.
best 30 RMB I ever spent, probably.
Yeah, so
I think she made a decent profit as well.
Yeah.
30 RMB for a bowl of plain rice. I mean, in China, that's a
Oh yeah,
decent-
so it was pretty good. So we put the bag of rice, but put the camera in the bag of rice for
Yeah.
days, weeks now.
yeah.
And camera seems to be working.
It seems to be working. We
need to try it out properly.
yeah, we need to try it out properly.
Yeah, so that was
Zhangjiajie, yeah.
Zhangjiajie. Yeah, big things in Zhangjiajie. So it was it was a really good trip in the end. It was a little bit fast because we were there for a couple of days, and we had to like repeat where we went because we couldn't see anything. But it was worth it. I thought it was really
Yeah,
beautiful.
I think these kind of hardships are what makes traveling fun and makes the good bits really good.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was definitely the most stressful part of the trip.
If everything just went totally to plan, you
No,
wouldn't,
definitely.
we wouldn't have any good stories or any good things to talk about in our videos. So I guess at least we don't need to make up any drama. So anyway, that's going to be a fun video because
let's see how that one works out.
yeah. So
So I mean, yeah, that was definitely the most stressful part of our trip. I think, right?
that was probably the most stressful part of our trip, I would say. Yeah.
Well, apart from the train journey,
Apart from the fact that we had to actually quite an important shoot straight after Zhangjiajie, we had no camera. We weren't coming back to Beijing. So yeah.
We got the train to Chongqing. So we have spent a week in Chongqing, just over a week in Chongqing, working together in a collaboration with a company called Chongqing. You may have seen that some other YouTubers have been to Chongqing, and yes, it's the same company. It was set up by Alex from Reportify Media, and a few other YouTubers have been. Barrett's have been, Guelo, Alex, Absolute, Jerry, Dio Nation. So yeah,
they've made some cool videos as well. They've made some really good videos, and
and we've made some really good videos as well. But it was obviously started off a little bit stressful because we didn't have a camera.
Yeah, especially as it was like the week before the October holiday. So all the rental houses were looking to go on holiday, and our kind of trip overlapped with the October holiday. So we were like, okay, we need to try and get a camera. Eventually, someone found one. We managed to go pick it up the night before.
Mikhail from Chongqing, he recommended.
Shout out to Mikhail from Chongqing.
Saving the day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so we picked up a camera and
it
was great. It did us for the entire trip. So we spent 8 days in Chongqing, and we did not stop. Oh my god, it was like the craziest city. And we had just like such a packed schedule. It was amazing.
So much footage, so much memory cards. Every night we were spending hours in the hotel just backing it all up. It was epic.
We would leave like the hotel at like 9 a.m. and then we didn't get back until about 10:30 every night. And oh man,
The drone shots, though, the drone shots would be awesome.
Oh,
Someone just said that they saw us at Chongqing. I hope. Do you mean?
did you see us? Did you see us, or did you like see that we were in Chongqing on Instagram? Yeah. Let
awesome.
me know.
Let us know.
Because yeah, that'd be.
And Samuel Cook says, "Can't wait to see Jack's work on Chongqing. It's epic city at night." I totally agree. Gosh. It is such an epic city at night. And we got some cool footage, I think, and we did some quite unique things as well. Obviously, everyone knows about the bright lights and the crazy things that are going on, but we actually found some really cool hidden spots that I'd never heard of before, because we had a very like a local girl showing us around, and she helped us find some proper cool, like I would hope to say a little bit more unknown. So keep your eyes peeled, because we're going to have some dope videos coming out. This whole fall/autumn coming into winter, we're going to have loads of cool videos coming out.
Well, I think we should get people hyped up, and I think we should tell people what the videos are going to be about. And then you can look for them, and you can also leave us a comment on this video and tell us like which one you're looking forward to the most. And then we might like switch the order as well.
Because I will, whatever the people want, I will. Well, actually, some of them won't get us to show it.
Well, so
don't pick the hardest one to edit. That's not going to edit first.
When are you going to upload the Chongqing videos? So we're going to upload Laoja next week, and then after that, we're going to start with some of the Chongqing, and then we're going to do a Laoja one after a couple of weeks, and then we're going to keep on going with some of the Chongqing. So 2 weeks Chongqing will be our first one. So the first one we did a podcast about our first experiences. First impressions of Chongqing. First impressions of Chongqing, which, oh my God, the background for this.
Oh man, this is a cool podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying these podcasts, because we're trying to basically, I know that like they're kind of more for the kind of the loyal subscribers and the people who just want to hear our thoughts on things, but we still want to make them kind of visually impactful. So we're trying to find like a nice setting for each one that we're doing. So that one,
these are especially for you subscribers, because we know that you seem to like them.
That one has a really cool background. Cool. What other films have we worked on there?
So obviously it's me. We obviously have a food video coming out. I got to try lots of Chongqing food. So much Chongqing food. It was.
How did you feel about Chongqing's food? Briefly, because we're going to talk about a lot in the upcoming videos, but I think we should give people, and Andy Lee saying talk a little bit about Chongqing. Dan Law saying how spicy the food in Chongqing.
Oh yes.
Did you eat boba tea?
Oh my God, I love boba tea.
Yeah.
That was probably
take the floor, Nicholas. You know she likes her food.
So yes, I was a little bit nervous about Chongqing food because it's really spicy, and it's like very Szechuan's peppery, and I'm not a big fan of Szechuan pepper. I've made that pretty clear. Don't really like it, but actually Chongqing changed my mind. It was very spicy, but I felt like I could handle it. Obviously, they probably saw that I was foreign, so they didn't make it as spicy as they would if I was a local, which is fine for me, and totally get that. Also, what I thought, this is my theory, right? So, don't like the Szechuan pepper when I've had it here in Beijing, and I wonder whether it's because they overcompensate, because they add Szechuan pepper and they don't use it that much, and maybe they overcompensate it and it's too much for me. But in Chongqing, it felt like it just like complemented it quite well.
I felt like it was beautifully balanced. Can I just say a little shout out to xiaomian, which is now my new favorite dish in China. I was obsessed.
How many xiaomian do you think you ate?
Well, at least one a day, sometimes two. Oh, I sometimes had it for breakfast as well. Sometimes 3 times a day. I am obsessed with xiaomian. It varied wildly though across the city. Like I found that even in the time we were there, we got to try so many that some were so much better than the others. So it kind of shows like you can't just go to a place and just try a dish once, because you got to try it a lot of times so you can make sure you get the best ones. And the pickles in it, the spice, the noodles with the bite.
So we've got some good food. So just to end on this boba tea, actually, the surprise thing that I liked in boba tea was chicken stomach. Haven't had that before. Really enjoyed it. So if you, we've got some good food video. Obviously, the main food of Chongqing is hot pot.
So
we have a big hot pot film coming out. we even got to interview a very important hot pot person. The
Yes.
hot pot queen, apparently.
We interviewed the queen of hot pot, the head of China's Hot Pot Association. She's the owner of Hongyudong, which is like a major tourist site in thingy. Yeah, she was very much the queen of hot pot.
Yeah.
And so she's going to feature in one of our videos.
The inventor of the two-way hot pot.
Yeah, the kind of split hot pot with the spicy and non-spicy side. She invented that. So
we
that's going to be pretty
cool.
That
was exciting. And we got to see around there. And that was like a really crazy evening. I don't think we ever would have been able to do that on our own. So, and
I think it all shows as well, just whilst we talk about the food before we talk about other videos, it shows how useful it is to have people with local knowledge, because I know there's a I can see from the names we've got quite a few Chinese people following in this live stream right now. If ever you have any foreign friends or in your city or anything like that, make sure you take them to the authentic places, because we struggle, you know, it's hard as a foreigner. Maybe we can't always find the real cool places, and in Chongqing I felt like we really did. So
we
that
did.
was awesome.
It was so good. And because also there was like so many things that I would never have tried, like just because I wouldn't know. And because we had a local guide that she told me all of her favorite things. I said, what's your favorite? And she told me that. So great. Everything that was her favorite, I tried. I went for it. Very, very excited. So yes, we do get excited when talking about food because food's amazing. Just before we go on to our next one, I just want to say thank you, David, so much for your super sticker. We really, really appreciate it.
Cheers, David. I saw you said you've not been to Chongqing yet. Definitely check it out. You'll have a great time for sure. And thank you very much for the sticker.
Yeah, thanks. So that's two that we did. We also did an infrastructure film.
Oh, now this is the one that I'm really excited about. This was when we were first planning our trip to Chongqing. This was like the first video that I was researching. I think Nico definitely took the lead on all the food stuff, but I kind of was researching this infrastructure film because it looked just so cool before we went there. Like
it's
the
probably
city,
the most impressive city for infrastructure I've ever been to.
And we were not disappointed when we got there. It was amazing. The drone shots we've got of some of the metros. We've got drone shots following the cable car goes across the river.
There's a cable car in the city.
We've not got drone shots there. We went to a really cool intersection. Is that the word?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the American English word. In English, we'd say junction. Yeah. And yeah, it was just incredible. But we couldn't fly the drone there, unfortunately, because it was underneath the flight path. But yeah, that's going to be a really dope video. I don't want to say too much more because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And also, like, it's just the city itself. So when we got there, we were just so impressed with just all these cool buildings and the way that it's kind of the way the city's built. So we're going to do an architecture film, and we also interviewed a few other people about that. So that's going to be a really interesting film because it's going to be a little bit different to what we normally do. I'm not really going to be in it that much, but it's more, you know, we spoke to some local people and kind of got their views about it. So it's going to be, I'm hoping, I've got big hopes for that one. I think that's going to be really, really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of architecture, we ended up doing a whole one on just one area, which is not really, well, we do that here in Beijing, but when we travel, we usually do like a city whole wide one. But we did one about the graffiti street, which is good. That was my favorite part, I think.
The graffiti street was incredible, which is very briefly, it was by, was it the Sichuan Fine Art Institute? Yes, so kind of like a art university, I guess you'd say, or an art college. And they'd basically agreed with local residents all along this kind of street and neighborhood to basically do this massive street art project. So they've painted all of the tower blocks in kind of incredible street art, incredible graffiti. It was just mind-blowing. Like, I've not seen anything like that in China. Like, I mean, that would blow my mind anywhere, like, you know, but street art is not really a thing that you see very much in China, especially not kind of if it is, it's quite like well controlled, whereas this was really authentic, really cool.
And that whole day we went to like this really cool tea house. We went to this really cool other cafe by the train tracks, and we spoke to some amazing
bookshop
people.
It was like a bookshop, wasn't it?
Yeah, we spoke to some really amazing people because Chongqing has the friendliest people.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this a lot in the upcoming podcast from there. For sure.
Yeah, I just couldn't believe how nice everybody was. So yeah, we felt really, really welcome there. We also did another one about street photography because there's so many awesome
like back alleys. So we've talked a lot about how
many
there's all these huge
buildings.
tower blocks and stuff, but
So cool.
at the bottom of it, there's all these amazing little alleyways. So we took some really cool street photography. So we made kind of like a vlog because we spent a whole day just literally taking photos, doing street photography.
It was probably, I feel like it's the coolest city that. Yeah,
I think
really,
it might be
really
my new
enjoyed
favorite
it.
city in China, other than Beijing. But
I completely agree. I really, really enjoyed it. It just had this really cool vibe about it. I like the way the city was laid out. It's a little bit confusing, just because it's very 3D. But and I mean, like we spoke about earlier about the nighttime, it's like in the night it goes to this completely different city, and it's just crazy, and it looks amazing.
Oh, it was
just
so insane.
Light.
It was so cool.
Gosh, it was insane. So we're also going to do a top Chongqing ones. I think that's like 8 films.
Oh my god, I'm tired. So much editing. So much editing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam, you are correct. There are probably going to be a lot of Chongqing films coming up, but we're gonna intermittent them with a few from Beijing, with a few podcasts with the ones and stuff. So yeah, don't worry, it's not just going to be Chongqing. But we have probably got enough content to see us until next year.
Yeah, we've got some good stuff coming for you guys, that's for sure.
But yes, so a few things also happened when we were in Chongqing. So we got interviewed by Xinhua News. They followed us around for the day.
Yeah, that was an interesting experience, something a little different.
Yeah, they've already put up a video about it on their channel.
Yep.
So it's on there. If you want to take a look, it's a few minutes long. I'm not tagged in it, so you wouldn't know. But yeah, we're on there. They followed us around. That was really fun. And also, I did a really stupid thing when we were there, and I lost our microphone. On the last day, I lost our microphone. Thank God it was the last day.
Yeah, thank God for that, eh? But luckily, you know, we've got some spares here at home, so we managed, you know.
I mean, what an idiot. Luckily, that's one of the reasons why I did a photography one, so I didn't have to speak. So I just want to say a shout out to A. Thanks.
Hey, A. Nice name. I like the minimal thing.
Yes, thank you very much. We will enjoy some music and you. Thank you very much. You're amazing. And
also hello to Anna, who we met last week.
Oh, hey.
Nice of you to join us.
Oh, that leads us on nicely to our next area. So
yeah, perfect segue.
Yeah, perfect segue to the next section when we went to Nanjing very briefly, our old haunting ground. We won't be doing any videos from Nanjing because we literally arrived for a few hours in the evening.
Well, actually, not entirely true. We will be doing one.
It's not about Nanjing, though.
No, it's not about Nanjing.
Because when we were in Nanjing, we were there for a reason, and we were there for a wedding.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yes, so one of our old friends got married. So she is from the US, and he is from near Nanjing. So we went to their wedding, which was really interesting experience because we've not been to a Chinese wedding before.
No, it was definitely a completely new experience. And not what we were. I don't know what we expected. We didn't know what to expect, did we? No. But it was a lot of fun. We had so much fun.
Yeah, we got to see some really interesting things, learn about some different cultures. So we're going to have like a podcast coming up about that and talking about it. We've got some interesting clips from that. So it's going to be, it was really, really lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was so nice.
And we got dressed up, done some stuff. So yeah, it was lovely. And then we headed quickly back to Nanjing again to see some friends, which we haven't seen in like 2 years. So that was super nice.
Yeah, that was super nice as well. Just catching up with things, you know, when we travel, most of the time we are just shooting. We never actually take any time for ourselves whatsoever. No. But those couple of days, well, actually, technically it was someone else's day because it was their wedding, but it allowed us to kick back. We had a few drinks and then, so it was just super nice.
Yeah, so it was lovely. So after that, we then decided, let's go and relax somewhere. So
avoid the crowds. 5159 Loop said, traveling a national day. How about the crowds? I can tell you that's why we went to our next stop after Nanjing.
So just briefly on this topic, yeah, it was the holiday. By this point, it was the national holiday. So we actually left Chongqing on the Friday, which was the day after the national holiday. And I've seen some mental pictures of Chongqing over the holiday. And I'm
really?
so glad that we left.
I think we skipped one.
Mental. Around Hongidong. Wow. Oh gosh.
I can only imagine.
So we left on the Friday, and honestly, traffic was fine. The flight was fine. We got into Nanjing, everything was fine. Like, I think we just kind of traveled at the right time. Even when we traveled back on the last day of the holiday back to Beijing.
Awesome.
Just normal, honestly.
Yeah, I think we got lucky.
I think we got very lucky because it's not normally like that. I think we always kind of, to be fair, we always kind of get a little bit lucky because we usually go somewhere a little bit not strange, but a little bit different, and we kind of seem to miss the crowds. But so yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought this would be a bad one, but yeah, it was absolutely fine. Because I thought we were going to get stuck in our next place, so we went to Moganshan, which is this beautiful mountainous resort type place in Zhejiang province. And on the way there, we got stuck in traffic. So I thought on the way back it was going to be crazy, but it was everyone had gone.
It was so nice though. We actually stayed like in a small village above Moganshan, up in the mountains, and it was actually ended up being super quiet. We just walked a little bit.
Yeah, did some hiking, ate some food. We
started a little bit of editing, of course. Couldn't totally relax.
We thought we were gonna just chill, but I ended up doing 4 vlogs. You ended up cutting up some stuff. Yeah, we still worked. So I ended up doing some stuff for Patreon. So it wasn't quite as relaxing as we planned. So we haven't really had a day off, but
yeah, it was nice though.
It was lovely. Nice. I mean, I don't mind working when it's such a beautiful setting and you can see it was green stunning. And we could go for hikes in the day. But obviously I kind of had a few issues with my knee and my back and things because I'm chronically in pain all the time. But we got past that. Also, you broke your glasses, which is great. So you couldn't really see the entire time that we were there, but it looked beautiful.
Yeah, it did look. It looks stunning.
Woo! Wow. So that is what we've been up to.
Yeah.
Which is why.
And also what you can expect from us over the coming weeks as well.
Yes, this is exactly why we just thought we'd do a live, because we thought, we've got just so much stuff, so many things has happened to us. Got so many exciting videos coming, so we want to get you pumped up and ready for them. And also we didn't want to miss another week, so we thought this was really, really, really good thing to do. So that's the thing. So also
shout out to Snarky Guy who joined us. I'm not sure if he's still here, but that's another China-based YouTuber. Go check him out, guys.
Hey Snarky. Yeah, so Snarky, my British accent is different to Jack's, because we are from different places in the UK, because the accents change quite a lot. And actually, I've got my very poshest British accent on right now, because if I spoke like I do back in the UK, you wouldn't understand.
Yeah, and I'm accentless now. My friends don't speak like me back home, but I think we've got no accent anymore.
You're just like edging out and out. Like pushing it out. Come back.
I'm back, guys.
Back. So so what I find really interesting about the UK is it's so small, but there's so many accents. There's like you go like an hour and it's different accent. It's crazy.
Totally.
So I asked on Instagram we on Eco.
Yep.
If anybody had any questions for us. So we're gonna get to them in a minute, but I did notice there was a few questions on here. So I noticed somebody else said something, and actually, so this one,
Karen Clement.
Yes, about our exit strategy, and do we plan on staying or leaving in a couple of years? And actually that goes in quite nicely with one of our questions, which was, do you think you'll stay in Beijing for a few years? So let's tackle that one first.
I think this is one that we commonly get asked, and I think any foreigner in China will be asked this question quite a lot by, whether it's from family members back home, Chinese colleagues here. People are always interested to know, like, what are your plans? Are you planning on staying here?
It's funny because we always say the same thing. 1 more year.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
3 years later.
Yeah, it's kind of a famous saying amongst kind of the expat community is 1 more year. But I mean, particularly with how crazy things are at the moment, I think that the people who have stayed in China, who didn't leave when COVID first hit, most of them, I think, are pretty glad that they stayed here. And I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think most of us who are from Western countries are pretty happy that we're still in China now, because things are a bit of a mess back home.
And also, like, our life is here right now. We've got good jobs. Oh yes, did you know we work full time? This isn't actually our job. We've got good jobs. We've got a place that we love living in. So I think we'll still. But the thing is, we've always said, like, we're not going to stay in China forever. We've made that pretty clear. China. We want to travel again, but travel's not like.
That being said, I think there will always be kind of a part of us that will kind of stay in China. Not, I don't want to say that in a cheesy way, but I mean more in terms of like a practical way.
The blue light was just shining a lot.
Yeah, in more of a practical way, we will try and come back to China.
Yeah, we'll definitely be coming back even if we leave, like, pretty much.
Yeah, we're still going to kind of keep making content from here, and it's going to be,
So
it's going to definitely be a theme going forward.
5 more years, says Miguel. So shout out to our friends Miguel
and Yvonne
for TripBit. If you haven't checked out their channel, then go and check it out.
Yeah, you should definitely go check out their channel, TripBit. And
Yvonne has her own channel, which is blowing up right now. So if you want to see any content about China, then Yvonne's got an awesome China. Go Yvonne, go check that out, because she has done some really
you might have already watched her videos and got it confused with Nicola, or vice versa. You might be thinking that Nicola's Yvonne right now. So yeah.
Also, Fat K says many China YouTubers are meeting in Beijing in 2 weeks. Will you join them? Yes. So I know about this. I was speaking
you're so in the know.
Oh my god, I'm a YouTuber. So I was speaking to Kirk about this, but basically, obviously the trip is here in Beijing. We've just got back from 3 weeks. Like, I can't take the time off work. And I think it's better suited to somebody who doesn't live in Beijing. Like, I'm always here. So I think it's better to give someone else a chance. So we won't be attending the trip, but we are probably going to meet up with everybody, because we've not actually met any of them, but we've been doing a lot of lives and stuff. So I'm quite looking forward to that. We're definitely going to meet up with them at some point.
Yeah, for sure. It's exciting to put some faces to some faces.
Yeah, some faces to some faces. I know a few of the guys are staying a little bit longer, so we'll probably meet up with them at some point as well. So that was one of the questions. Okay, so another one about Beijing. Absolute best food to try in Beijing.
Ooh, good question. What's your go-to?
Oh, well, okay.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? That's what she's thinking.
I'm thinking watch my food video, because it kind of tells you everything that I like to eat in Beijing for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also, there's quite a lot of Western food here, which is really, really, really good. But let's go for Chinese food. Oh, best food to try in Beijing. Well, I mean, I'm going to go with classic. You've got to try the Peking Beijing duck if you come here, because
I think anyone who's coming flying through the city, tourists, like, you've got to be doing it. But actually, that's not something we eat on the regular. It's definitely not an everyday food here, for sure.
Well, Janbing is an everyday food.
Yeah, that's your go-to breakfast choice, isn't it?
Yeah, and Zhangjiajie.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Zhangjiajie, as I already mentioned in this stream about my obsession with noodles. But
I thought I was obsessed with noodles.
I think I've ever too.
Oh my god. Have I made you oodles of noodles?
Yeah, must be. Although they do vary massively in quality, I would say, around the city. So you've got to search out the hidden gems.
To know. So yeah, that is definitely. But like I said, check out my food video, because as I got pointed out by quite a few people, most of the things that I say are my favorite are because it's Northern cuisine, which is obvious because I live in Beijing. I don't live in the south of China. We haven't visited that many places, but I'm willing to try. So hopefully we'll get a few things. So that leads us on to, I guess, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about Beijing?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, if we're still on the topic of food, I'm quite happy that we're quite far away from the sea, because I'm not a big fan of seafood. So I like the fact that most of the food is land based.
I think the food's pretty good here. I'm not gonna lie. Chinese food's good. Western food's good.
Yeah, you get a real mix of stuff from all over, but it's definitely not one of like China's like most prized food cultures, I would say.
No, but
I would say the thing that I like the most is the hutongs. I just
Yeah.
can't get enough of them. They just make me happy. Actually, whilst we were away, we were talking and saying we actually miss the hutongs as we were traveling around China, and they're so unique. You just don't get anything exactly like that anywhere else, I feel like.
Yeah,
so.
I would definitely agree. And we live in a hutong, so yeah, I missed it a little bit. I completely agree with that. With least favorite thing, I mean, for me personally, it would be like the traffic, because I ride a scooter to work, and it's busy and it's a bit crazy, and people don't follow the rules. I was shocked that in Chongqing, when you cross the road, people stop.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So yeah, that would probably be my least favorite thing. What about you?
Oh, good question. I think like one of the things I love about Beijing is just like how big it is, but that's also one of the things that I don't like about it. And sometimes I guess this would go for any city. Like I wish it was like almost a little bit closer to the mountains or a little bit closer to countryside. You can still get to the mountains in a day, an hour or two, but that's kind of just a personal thing, I would say.
Yes. Okay. So, so someone else said the worst thing, so that answers that. Let's have a look. So we've got a few more Beijing ones. This is the Beijing one. Are you excited to visit the new Universal Studios Park in Beijing next year?
No.
That's what I thought. No, but the girl who asked me this, basically the reason she asked me is because she's got a job there. How cool is that?
She's got a job there?
Yeah, so she's
doing
coming
what?
to work there to be a performer there. So that's pretty cool. So it made
that's
sense.
So cool.
That's why she asked me. We're just not really like theme parky people, apart from the old ones.
Yeah, so there's a really cool theme park in Beijing called, what's it called? I don't know if it's Beijing World Park?
Beijing World Park, yeah.
Yeah, we made a video about that a couple of months ago. So if you missed that, you need to go check that out because that's super cool. It's basically like a dilapidated window of the world, which is the famous one in Shenzhen with replicas of landmarks from all across the world. If you're into like models or miniatures or anything like that,
it was cool.
It's cool.
I really
it's quite quirky.
But
I like it. And it's just relaxing. It's like a park.
Yeah, it was relaxing. It felt a bit retro. But like kind of busy theme, just busy. We're just not big busy fans, which obviously is quite ironic because you live in China. It's like a really busy country. So we're not that bothered about theme parks. We haven't been to Disney. Actually, we haven't been to a theme park since we've been together.
I went to Legoland when I was a kid.
Yeah, I went. We've not been to anything together. So let's have a look at our next one. So what are your likes and dislikes about China?
Ooh, controversial one.
Controversial. We did a whole video about it, to be fair.
Yeah, we did.
We've got pros and cons about China. So I suggest you check that out. And then we leave.
What is the thing that you find the most challenging about China? What you dislike?
Recently.
Yeah.
I said this in my Patreon video yesterday, actually. Recently, what I found very annoying, because actually my Patreon, I got asked what I would bring from the UK.
Yep.
And I guess it's kind of similar to what I dislike is the queuing. Recently, I've been pushed in front of a lot, and it's really ground my gears. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, as British people, we are big fans of an orderly queue. And I
was quite peed off.
Fair enough.
So that would be a dislike. What about you?
I would say the same. I think that's the thing I would probably, I find the most challenging is probably the lack of queuing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a pretty minor thing, all things considered. And I think over the years, the longer we live here, there's more things that we kind of like or grow to like, over time. So for sure.
Likes. I mean, there's so many likes. I could go
the food,
the food,
the travel opportunities,
food, travel, parks. Oh, that's parks.
Parks for sure. Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's what. So somebody asked can you share what it's like to work in China? So we were wondering about doing a podcast about this.
Yeah, for sure.
We talked about this recently.
Yeah. We thought we were going to
do a video.
Yeah, we have. I've written a script for this video.
We're gonna do a video. So would you like to see this as a video? Because I mean, there are some differences.
Yep.
there are some things that are similar, some things that are better, some things that are worse. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like working anywhere really.
Yeah, you
We've
have
been
a
here for
boss,
3
you got to listen to
years,
them.
so we enjoy it enough to stay. But if you want to see more details, would you be interested in seeing?
Yeah, I think just briefly as well, just to answer this question, I think like there are some kind of differences in terms of workplace culture, in terms of the hierarchy and different things. I mean, obviously it's super hierarchical in the Western countries as well, but in China, I'd say even more so. You do not question any orders that come down from above. You listen to them and you get on with it, and that's kind of just the way things go. And that can be a little bit challenging at times, but it also can be, I guess, simple. I'd say almost in a way, working in China is almost more simple in some ways. But yeah, there are definitely some challenges. So yeah, we'll make a whole video about that, I think.
If you want to see that, we'll make a whole video about it. I'm going to get onto you guys' comments in a second. We're going to just wrap up these Instagram comments first. So keep your questions coming and we'll answer them. Somebody asked, how are things in China now with COVID? Well, we've just been traveling, so obviously they're kind of better. I was a little bit nervous when we first went because I thought it was going to be harder, but actually it wasn't. I think Beijing's still really quite strict. Like I still have to scan my health app everywhere. Most people, like, even though it's not mandatory anymore, everyone's still wearing a mask. Everyone.
Yeah, I've traveled quite a bit for work throughout the year and stuff, and I would say actually it's quite surprising when you get to other cities how much more lax it is when you've been in Beijing. But yeah, generally most places are pretty chilled. Obviously, like the major things like train stations and things like that, they want to check your apps, they want to check your temperature.
Everyone wears masks in those public transport.
Yeah, public transport. But generally it is okay. I know that some people who are teaching their schools have asked them not to travel, and so that's kind of going to be a bit of a barrier. But in terms of actual like practical things, there's no real barriers at the moment.
There was a little bit of a thing I heard on the news today about Qingdao. Obviously, a lot of people are coming back. So they're having to quarantine, and a lot of people, are getting tested quite often. So there's a lot of there's imported cases that are coming in, but there doesn't seem to be any local cases. So fingers crossed that stays the same, because
it could all change. As well, I think
knows what it's like right now. So next question we got asked. I'm moving next year to China. Congratulations. Well done. I'm 23. Do you reckon Shenzhen or Chongqing?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, up until a few months ago, I'd have said Shenzhen, but I'd never been to Chongqing.
I think that's quite tough, actually, because we don't live in either of them. So we can't think from a living perspective. We can only say...
What I would say is that, like, just my gut reaction, and I would say, speak to someone who lives in those cities. But my gut reaction is Chongqing would be my gut reaction in terms of traveling to. And we had an awesome time traveling there. But when we were in Shenzhen, it felt a lot. It's very spacious. There's actually not as much to see in Shenzhen. We when we were there, we were making a video about what it's like to kind of like for people living in the city. And it looked really livable. But if you said, "Oh, I'm going to Shenzhen on holiday, what should I do?" I would almost struggle to give you as many recommendations in terms of like things like these are the landmarks, these are the activities. So it seems super livable. There's some great jobs. Obviously, it's close to Hong Kong. Yeah, nice weather, super south. But yeah, I think Chongqing, obviously, they're also super different because Shenzhen is way newer. Like Chongqing has lots of super new parts, but it's also been a city for a lot longer and has kind of a longer culture that way and has some older parts. Whereas everything in Shenzhen is totally new. So it depends what you're into,
I would say speak to some people, do a bit of research, have a think about what you're into, and go watch some videos. We've got a Shenzhen video. We're going to have loads of Chongqing videos.
I think as well, just one final thing on that. There's probably going to be more of an expat community. If that's something you're bothered about, I mean, we don't we're not like super like involved with like any sort of community here necessarily, but I know for some people, like that's a really big thing. I would say that Shenzhen probably seem to have more foreigners there. Definitely. It's more international. Obviously, it's more business orientated. Whereas like Chongqing, we were surprised actually, weren't we?
We didn't really see that many. I know that are, but it didn't seem as prominent. And people were quite surprised to see us as foreigners. They were very interested in taking our photos and stuff.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm also like, have a look at them and go with your gut. At the end of the day, if you get there, I'm sure you're going to love whatever city you pick, because like it's pretty, both of them are pretty incredible. And if you don't like it after a year or so, move to the other one.
Yeah, we moved cities,
Yeah,
and
we
we've not
move
looked
cities.
back.
It's not, people do that. Okay, last Instagram questions, and then our feed's blowing up. So let's think that this is quite a deep one. Have you ever had a moment that makes you want to give up your life in China?
I would say, for me personally, there's not been any like massive things that have happened to me personally, but you've had some pretty big things have happened since we've been having you. So
yeah, so I had a pretty big accident last year, and I guess that was a moment that we did have to think quite seriously on whether we
would
were
go back
gonna
to
go back to the
UK,
UK or not, because I didn't know whether to get surgery here or go back to the UK. Obviously there's a lot of pressure on you because you were the only person like to look after me. Obviously my mum did come over. Shout out to mum for saving the day.
Thanks,
She
Mum.
came over. Thanks, mum. She came over for like 10 days to look after me, which was amazing. But I mean, we struggled for a few months. It was pretty hard.
Yep.
And we just didn't know whether it was the right choice or whether to go back. And I'm still recovering.
The grass is always greener as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always going to be tempting to, when times get hard, to go home or to go do something else. But there's also no guarantee that things will be easier. We've lived away from the UK for so long now, that it's not like we'd just be able to go back and fit into life. It would be a massive adjustment as well.
Yeah.
So, and obviously COVID, I think, was the other big one. I think obviously every foreigner probably had to have a think about what they were doing. I mean, I know we spoke with a lot of
choice as well. But
their schools were like their schools folded or whatever.
Schools folded, or they were away because it was Spring Festival. We were really lucky. We got back the day after Spring Festival, and so we had to make that personal choice. Some people didn't have that choice to make because they were already out of the country and they got blocked out of the country.
Yeah, sure.
We had to make a decision, and it was a tough decision because.
Well, I mean, at that time it was only here, wasn't it? But yeah, I think we made the right one. Snap.
Yeah. But I mean, there are little things that happen, and they were the two big things. And obviously, like, you do question it sometimes, like, oh God, would it be better if we were back home? Like, we miss our friends, we miss our family. It is hard.
When you have a bad day, but you have bad days anywhere, and that's the thing. I mean, at least we have the option, right? But if you were stuck in your home country, in your home city where you grew up, and you had a bad day, well, there's nowhere to run to. You're already home. So in some ways, it's almost nice. I feel like almost having that thing there, or that kind of safety cushion, is almost nicer than the thing itself. It's just nice to have that as an option, but not use it. And
also, like, a lot of people ask us about that and whether they think it's going to be really hard if they move to China. And the thing is, if you don't like it or whatever, you can, you have got, like, most people can go home if they want to. So there's also that. But I think I'm going to be really stuffy. We're together, so it's nice. So at least we've got each other,
Yeah.
Okay, I'll not. Okay, so that was the end of our Instagram comments. So let's have a look through our comments and see what you guys are saying. So yeah, Pippin, he was right. So people grab their bags, now they can't get back in. A lot of people stuck out. I know that some people are coming back in. And
we spoke a lot with Miguel and Von, obviously, but particularly with Miguel, I remember speaking to him a lot about what we should do. And when we were, it's good to have people in the same position, almost in a way, who kind of go through decisions. Obviously, they're from the US and Netherlands, respectively, but it was kind of interesting to see, like, hear other people's opinions and what they thought about the situation, whether we should stick it out, really.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you're right. Families are important. So that was one thing, obviously, when it's affecting everybody. It's I think it seem to be struggling a bit. I think.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we seem to have locked. Okay, anyway, I think it's coming to an end anyway. I think Jack's Mandarin pitch is more accurate than Nico. Yes, you're right. He's better at Mandarin than I am. we are getting lessons right now. We're hoping to
Not better.
improve.
I'm less terrible. We're both terrible, right? It's a degree of badness. It's like who's worse. Neither is any good. So
yeah,
there you go.
We're
it's
trying,
no victory,
guys. You know, it's really hard. I'm not making excuses, but we've been working super hard on this channel for a couple of years. Every spare minute we make videos. We both have full-time jobs. We literally do Chinese classes on our lunch breaks, don't we?
Yep, we're trying.
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying, guys. We're really trying. So Samuel Kirk says you should buy an EV and do road trips. I heard the highways and scenery would be beautiful. Oh my god, I would love this. We need to get a.
This sounds awesome. Yeah, I would love to do that. Maybe rent one though. Maybe we'll rent one. I'm not sure I'm going to buy a car in China, but
yeah, but maybe we could rent one or get a driving license sorted. You need to get better at Mandarin and then get your driving license sorted.
Yeah,
there you go. So Henry says Chongqing is good for traveling. Shenzhen is more of a young city. Not much differences from the west.
Totally agree. I can see that.
Chongqing is more for work. Shenzhen is more for work. Chongqing more for lifestyle and food. It's hot in Chongqing during summer. Yes. So Chongqing is one of the furnaces, apparently, along with Nanjing and Wuhan, and maybe one other. I don't know if I'm wrong there, but it gets hot in summer, and Nanjing was hot as well and wet, and yeah. So be prepared. But then a lot of places get hot in
summer.
Summer in China. It's the hottest country I've ever been to, and the coldest country I've ever been to.
Yep, it has the full range here, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's starting to get a little bit chilly here.
In Beijing. Feel the seasons changing.
Seasons are changing. So A says, how often are you told not to film when you're not with a guide or a local speaker?
Surprisingly little, I would say. Very rarely. I think whilst we were on our trip, only one time did I ever get told not to film.
Yeah. So where can you find your podcast? Our podcast videos. Oh, thank you, by the way. Our videos are absolutely amazing. Ready, go, Expat. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Really appreciate that you like our videos. Our podcast, we don't have it on audio. We just got it on video on our YouTube channel. Do you want it on audio? Is that something that you would like to hear so you can listen to it like the same thing, but just audio?
We did have grand plans to start something bigger, but we're just struggling with time. We were going to make it like a bit of a bigger thing, but at the moment we're just doing it alternate weeks on our YouTube channel. But yeah, that will be coming soon. Eventually we'd like to do like an audio version for sure.
Yeah, we need to get that sorted out.
We've also got like a huge list of guests of people we want to speak to, but again, time.
Yes. What is your average living per month, entertainment included? Well, we did a cost of living video about Beijing about a year ago. So if you want a really detailed breakdown, then check that out.
Well, actually, what I'd say as well is we focus more on like how much things cost rather than our exact like expenses.
Yeah.
Maybe at some point we'll do an updated version.
We can do our exact expenses.
Miguel from TripBit again, he did a really detailed breakdown on their channel. So I'd recommend checking that out if you wanted like a more of like a monthly breakdown. I think he had the spreadsheet. He had the full works. I don't know how to work Excel, so
to be honest, like entertainment, the only entertainment we do is
going to the pub.
Go to the pub and eat food.
To be honest, I dread to think how much a percentage of my salary I spend on beer. So
maybe we won't do that then, because beer is kind of expensive.
But it probably is about time we do an updated one, because that was probably a couple of years ago when we first moved to Beijing. We did that.
Rent's still the same there.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Hope our landlord isn't watching.
So Daniel says, which Chinese food style do you like the most? Sichuan, Canton, Northern?
I prefer I would say I'm like a more of a northern, central or western vibe.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the coast, not a fan of the south. I'm not a fan of seafood or dainty flavors. I prefer like cumin, spice, skewers, like noodles, shile,
Inner Mongolian.
Shanxi.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm getting hungry now.
I know we've already had dinner, but now I'm getting hungry. So Nicholas says he will be attending university next term. Been there. We haven't, but congratulations.
what I would just say, right, to anyone, you, Nicholas, or anybody, we get asked so much about universities in China. We get asked so much, and it seems to me that like the majority of people who are making YouTube content and stuff, they mostly seem to be come to China for work. It seems. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just not watching that content, but I reckon there's probably a gap in the market for someone to do some university content or some student stuff. Because
I can't answer these questions.
Yeah, and China's getting loads of foreign students from all across the world now, and a lot of Asian countries are coming as well, and African countries. There's a lot of deals on there, so yeah, there's probably a market there for someone.
On, guys, get it out. Nicholas also asked about how is the pollution. So
today was beautiful. It was just like wall-to-wall blue sky.
It was so nice today. This is probably the biggest myth. Not myth, because it does happen, but people always ask, that's like the first thing people ask, what's the pollution like in Beijing?
Like the pollution in Beijing is so much better than in Nanjing. When we first came to Beijing, before we came for a couple of weeks before we went down to Nanjing, everyone in Beijing was like, even the Beijing people were like, oh, you're going to go to Nanjing, like it's going to be so green and so nice. Actually, the pollution is way better here than it is down in a lot of other cities, because I think at one point, and so someone who's lived here longer than us could tell you a lot more, I think it was a real issue at one point.
Yeah.
But the government has kind of closed down a load of the factories around the city. They've now limited the amount of cars on the road. Also, there's no cars older than 10 years old, I believe, or a certain amount, it might be less than that, 7 or 8 years, I can't remember. So actually, I would say in Beijing it's really not an issue, and a lot less polluted than actually a lot of cities, probably like London and LA and stuff. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I think we've been to other places which are probably worse. There are definitely cities in China, more industrial cities and places which are like the industry heartland, that are much more polluted. But generally, I would say the trend is getting better, and also awareness among Chinese people, the public, of like environmental issues is improving so much that it probably puts more pressure on the government to do stuff about it, for sure.
Yeah, and like I think about this sort of time, like November time, it kind of gets a little bit grey, and it can get a little bit worse because of the change of the temperature. But winter time, woo, it's so nice here. Like I feel like the pollution is just down to nothing.
Yeah, in winter it's just cold and sunny and it's beautiful. I love the winter in Beijing.
Yeah, me too. So somebody asked, do you find it's hard to make Chinese friends?
Well, I guess it's how you define it. I mean, we don't have a lot of friends in general because we spend most of our time making videos. So I would say, to be honest, but I think I would say no, it's definitely not hard to make Chinese friends. I think it's maybe harder to make deep friendships.
Yeah.
I think it's there's a lot of people we're quite friendly with, and co-workers and things like that. But maybe for like a real deep friendship, sometimes it could be more challenging because there's going to be more
the language gap.
Yeah, language gaps, things like that. But I don't see, if for anyone who was moving here, and especially someone who's more social than us, we're not the most sociable people.
We barely have any
friends
anyway.
You will have no trouble making friends. And generally Chinese people are really friendly, and they want to be friends with foreigners generally. So you're not going to have a hard time at all, really.
No, and I think we've met some good friends, some good people. We've got some great co-workers. But yeah, I guess every culture is different, so it is hard to sometimes find similar. Like a lot of my co-workers, they don't drink alcohol, and we like to go to the pub.
Yeah,
loosen people up a bit. So Daniel said, after some period of living in China, has it changed your mind in terms of cultural aspect?
Yeah, I would say completely. I would say for sure. Like I think over time, like I've almost kind of gained more like respect for kind of just the general almost Confucian way of like kind of the balance that people kind of talk about here. So in terms of like almost in a way questioning things less, and it's not that necessarily it stopped me from questioning things, but it's more like, I'd say, I'm not phrasing this very well. So in the West, generally, we have like a very like independent spirit, whereas I would say that in a lot of Asian countries, they've kind of got a more of a communal, everyone kind of pulls in the same direction kind of spirit. And at times, like obviously that can grate on you as a foreigner, but over time I've kind of respected that more and more and seen the kind of the benefits of that kind of mindset. It's not necessarily that it's changed me, but it's made me, I've definitely learned to appreciate that a lot more.
Well, I kind of feel that everybody, if they have an opportunity to, if they can, you know, obviously we're all different, we have different lives, but if they have a possibility to move abroad,
Yep.
I think take it, because I think everybody should try and live in a different country for a few months at least, because it opens your eyes to so much, no matter
Well, also,
where.
it's probably hard to put a finger on exactly in the ways that it has broadened your
Mm.
perspective, because it's broadening your perspective. So you're less closed-minded, you're worrying about things less, and you'll just be kind of having, you know, you will be more open-minded, so you won't even notice things. It almost makes you like not notice things. When you first come, you kind of notice some things and think like, oh, well, that's a little, you know, different, or that's, you know, that's challenging. But over time you kind of just get used to it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I completely agree. So, okay, let's just have a look. Oh, I'm sorry, Nathan. Okay, so I've had a flick through. Wow.
Shout out to Atmos Free as well. So they've traveled down the hall.
You can probably hear us.
Yeah, you can probably hear us
sorry.
shouting. Sorry, we're disturbing you. Check out his videos. Well, no, his Instagram particularly. I'm not sure if you've got anything on your YouTube, but yeah, he's a dope filmmaker here in Beijing and photographer, and does loads of cool projects here. So definitely worth checking that out.
Yeah. So on that note, because we're probably keeping our Hunan up, it's 10:15.
Yeah, for sure.
I think let's wrap this up. So thank you guys for joining us. I'm really, really happy that you're here. I hope you are all excited for our upcoming videos.
Yeah, if you kind of joined later on in the stream, make sure you rewatch it from the beginning, because we go into some detail about what we've been up to and all the videos we've got coming up.
Yeah, so they're all going to be out 9 p.m. on a Monday night, Beijing time. So this time, every Monday, please watch them, because YouTube just doesn't really like us right now, because we missed a week and it's just doesn't like our videos. So please rewatch our videos if you haven't seen some of them, because you miss us. Share them with everybody. Let's get to that 30K, guys. We're so close.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Okay. So thank you for joining us. And hopefully, if you like this, we might do another live again soon. It's like seeing Jack on his first live. How did it go, Jack?
I thought it went great.
I thought you did brilliant.
Thank you.
So shout out to Jack for doing very, very well here on the live stream. And shout out to all you guys for joining us. We hope you have a great night, a great week. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.